All right. So look, here's the truth of it. I'm raised from the grave. That's how I feel right. Look, y'all know I had to be pretty sick to not do a recap last night. I couldn't even watch the game. The nausea. I just tried to fight off the nausea for all day, and when it came time for game time, I couldn't even look at my phone without getting dizzy. It's like, well, anyway, um, Stu is going to inform us on what in the hell happened last night. My phone was blowing up all night. I turned it off. I wake up this morning. It's like it's burning. Everybody wanting to know
Okay.
what happened, and I don't know either. So
All right. So listen, Jaws is not feeling well. He's, a trooper for doing this. So you guys should really appreciate the fact that we have a recap and obviously the most embarrassing loss of the season. Plus, we have a special guest that's going to be joining us in a couple of minutes. And we'll just, wait to talk about the game and the season and maybe ways of fixing this as soon as our special guest, joins us. Be a surprise, but not really a surprise because we've had him on
right.
the podcast before. We're really, fortunate, lucky to have him taking time out of his busy day to do these with us. And we'll just keep you in suspense for a couple of minutes. I don't want to have to repeat, what happened, but obviously,
Right.
I also turned the game off last night when it was 6-2. Pissed at the coach for
Right.
leaving.
Well, I think that's the one thing we can talk about that maybe Billy wouldn't want to weigh in on a little bit is what's with Brunette just leaving the guy in there for 8 goals.
He did it. Listen, he did it against Jersey, 7-2.
Right.
And the
Right.
kid looked terrible in that game and should have been replaced at 4-2.
Right.
Since then. Oh, maybe he's won one, but he's looked awful. And maybe the only reason that we won is because we scored a lot of goals. But last night, my son just texted me a little while ago that he turned the game on, or he said the only picture that he saw was Knight flat on his back, looking like he got shot.
Right.
My prediction is now, since we picked up this goalie, who I hear is not that great a goalie,
No.
we're going to send Knight down.
Right. Yeah.
Where,
yeah,
he probably should be at this point because he's totally lost his confidence.
Right. Yeah. And I just wonder.
We'll get into the breakdown of last night, but
I just wonder with him last night, because they picked up Johansson. So at that point, Knight probably had already been told. He probably was told before last night that he's going to be sent down.
And yeah, so because they can't right. have 3 goalies on the
right.
roster.
Right. So
and I don't think he needs to, clear waivers.
No, I heard somebody on the Discord said Knight is waiver exempt. So with that being said, you got to figure it kind of had his confidence and mental state was already fragile as it was. There's no way around it. I mean, eight goals, it had to have affected him last night. And I did watch, before we started here, I did watch some of the highlights. And one of the goals, I don't know if this is when you turned it off or not. It was the ESPN highlights, so they didn't show every goal. But they did manage to show the goal where Spencer tried to handle the puck behind the net, and it ended up in our net. He tried to wrap it around, and it went off of a senator, and then boom, it was in the back of our net. So we knew that was coming. At least it happened in a game where we were losing anyway. We were going to lose that game anyway. But
well, the Senators have done. They got off to an awful start.
Right.
But they've come around and beat some, some top teams, Tampa, Carolina. You had Goldie and Billy talking about coming back from the road trip and jet lag and, to lose the first game. You know what? I'm not buying those excuses.
No, not like this.
You know, they should have came back ready to play. This does not look like the Panther team that started the season. And, you know, again, I'd like to get into it with our guest, who you let the cat out of.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
There we go.
Oh, you know me. I nobody listens to what I say anyway, so nobody caught that.
Hey guys.
Hey Bill.
How's it going?
Hey,
all right.
Billy.
We got video today with you or not?
I thought I hit video. Let me try it again. No, let's see here. Here's video. There we go.
Hey,
there we go. All right, so Panther fans, this is the only fan podcast where you're going to get special guests of high caliber. Mr. Panther has been kind enough to spend a few minutes with us, taking time out of his busy day. I can't, you know, we can't ask for a more knowledgeable guest. Would you come from the gym?
Yeah, I just got done a workout, so.
Nice.
All right. So basically, we just started talking about last night. What an embarrassing loss it was. We talked about how the coach left Knight in. I think he's totally crushed. I think since the 7-2 shellacking we took in Jersey, I don't think he's won. He's just looked like a different goalie. So what's your take on that?
Young kid's got to struggle in this league at times. He's in the NHL. He's never spent time in the American Hockey League. And for Spencer Knight, he had all the hoopla last year, come in the playoffs. He's got all the ability in the world. He's going to be a stud for a long time, no question, but there's going to be some ups and downs. When I started my NHL career, there was a time that I was a big scorer in junior, went 17 games without scoring, and I was so deflated, but learned that I had to work on other parts of the game, that there was another way to play in the NHL besides scoring goals every game. And if you're a goaltender like Spencer Knight, there's going to be, he's never failed before at any level. He's been a star everywhere he's been, whether it's college, the World Junior Championship, and there's never really been any times where he's had to go through that mental process of trying to struggling and piece it back together. And this is the learning curve that goaltenders have to go through. So he's in there for all 8 goals. It's everyone says it crushes your mental outlook. I don't believe that's so. I just believe it's more of a learning experience. If you don't go through that and you don't have those down times as a young kid, then how are you supposed to learn? How are you supposed to get mentally stronger, mentally tougher? And that's what the NHL is all about. You have to become mentally tougher. You have to become stronger. Right. 20 years old, go through it, deal with it. Maybe he goes to the American Hockey League. Maybe he doesn't. But to me, it's just the growth of a goaltender. And he's going to be better for it for the long run, as long as he's able to piece together between the years. And that's where it's all, in the NHL, that's where it all lies. You have all the sets, all the tools, but you have to be able to handle it mentally.
In a situation, sorry, Stu, I just got one question in regards to that. In a situation like that, because that's happened with Spencer, where they left him in with 7 against New Jersey and then 8 last night. Do you think that him and the coaches talk about that beforehand, and he already knows that, hey, if you're having a bad night, we're just going to leave you in there, and that way, you know, for the fans, we're like yelling, take him out, but he already knows that no matter what happens, he's staying in.
I believe that's a possibility. The goaltending coach, we got one of the best goaltending groups that you could put together here with this goaltending consulting group with Roberto Luongo, Rob Callis, and everyone that they've put together on that staff. So if you look at the staff, there's lots of discussion what they want to do and how they want Spencer Knight to progress. And this is real. They want to be careful with how they handle it because they know that he's the future in net. But that is something that's probably discussed. If he's going to go in there and be in there for the whole game, just say, hey, you're going to play the whole game. It doesn't matter if it's 2-1, 1-0, 8-2. It's your net for the night, and whatever happens, and go with it. And the consequences will ensue, and he's going to have to now get over those struggles and learn what it takes to struggle in the NHL.
My personal opinion on that, the norm is that you take a goalie out that's doesn't look like he has it after 4 goals, you know. And I just think that was a poor decision, but it's done.
Yeah,
No,
I think it's
no
just
goal,
a humbling.
no goalie should take a shellacking like that, Billy. Remember when it happened to Patrick Waugh?
Well, there's a big difference between Patrick Waugh and Spencer Knight. You're talking about a Stanley Cup champion, a Vezina Trophy winner. The difference between that situation and Spencer Knight is between night and day. You can't even compare that because of the resume of Patrick Waugh. Yet the resume that Waugh has, then maybe you have some consideration for what's happened and what he's accomplished for your team. But at that point that Patrick Waugh was going through that with the Montreal Canadiens, his resume was already through the roof and off the charts. He was one of the greatest goaltenders in Montreal Canadian history at that point.
You can almost hear Billy thinking 1996 every time he says the name Patrick Waugh.
I get it.
Like nothing bad, Patrick, but anytime I hear something about you got a hell of a goal scored on you, I'm good with it.
Yeah, well, it didn't happen in Montreal because then he doesn't end up in Colorado, and maybe we have a chance in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Exactly.
So let's segue to the coaching situation. You know, it's a delicate subject, I know, but obviously the team has it. You know, we won a few games. Now I'll give the fact that we lost our, star player, and we were out Duclair, Marchment, Forsling's out now. It's just been, but the record's been. It just looks like a different team. And I don't know. The bubble kind of burst in a big way. Now the question is it time to replace him? But I mean, he is our power play coach, and we're at the bottom of the league. I mean, the power play is definitely it's just so bad. So that's 2 questions.
Okay, well, that's enough for me to handle this moment. Two's enough. Andrew Brunette, the coaching situation, with the early success that you've got off to, you've given him a chance to get behind the bench. He's a rookie head coach. You're going to evaluate him during this process. He's not going anywhere. He's too much of the fabric of the team. The players love him. As far as being a head coach, and if you ever want to make some changes, I would go more of an associate coach route. If you want to bring someone in as a head coach, or maybe make Andrew Brunette an associate coach where they're kind of co-coaches, a veteran guy that maybe helps him out, or that Andrew Brunette along this way there is some growing pains and he is the man for the job. But this guy, after your start, you've been afforded 25, 30 games to look at Andrew Brunette. I still don't believe it's time to hit the panic button as far as Andrew Brunette behind the bench and making a coaching move. When you make that move, you have to be 100% sure of what you're doing and who you're bringing in. So even though we got beat 8-2 last night, it's frustrating. But when we went to the Stanley Cup Finals in 1996, we went down a stretch. There's about 20 games left in the season. We had a stretch where we went 0-7-1. Mm-hmm. 0-7-1. And we went to the Stanley Cup Championship. It happens in 82 games. It's going to be a roller coaster. It's impossible not to. So there's injuries. Everyone lives. So you have to take yourself out of the moment. You have to, because everyone's so spontaneous. Spencer Knight in for 8 goals. Everyone gets wrapped up in the absolute insanity of the moment, instead of just taking a step back, taking a deep breath, and look at the record up to this point. You've won three games to 1 loss, basically, is the scenario if you play it out. So and the record is in really good shape. So even in life and everything that you do, when it gets chaotic, that's when you have to really take a step back and just take a deep breath and say, whoa, okay, let's evaluate. Let's see how this goes. But with the start we have, there's no need to really get overwhelmed with anything.
Agreed.
So that's where I just the fan base, everyone thought at the end of last year, everyone thought Spencer Knight should be the starting goaltender.
Yeah. No, that was us.
Yeah.
The two of us included.
Yeah, everyone thought Spencer Knight should be the goaltender. He should play 60 games. He's going to be the greatest. Bobrovsky shouldn't be on this team. That's where the coaches and everyone and the general manager, even me, they believe me, they know better than us fans. I guarantee you that. They know what's happening in that room and the heartbeat. So you just really have to not get wrapped up in the moment. Just deep breaths at this point. It was a humbling loss against Ottawa. Give your team a chance to regroup and see if they come out against LA and a recent stretch here and can put together some good hockey. But 82 games, it's going to happen.
So I have a follow-up to that. Sorry, I just had a follow-up to that one thing. Since like you're saying, we're fans, you've been there. So can you help answer the question that all the fans go back and forth on? And that is, there's those in the camp that feel you have to have a coach that's been there before to win a cup. And then there's those that feel like it doesn't matter. A guy who's been a rookie head coach or not been there before can take a team all the way. What's your sense either way on that?
How'd Craig Berube do in St. Louis a couple years ago?
I was just about to chime in on that.
Yeah, he seemed to do all right. Yeah, so there's different philosophies on that scenario. It can be done. It can be an interim coach that takes over and takes the team to the Stanley Cup. It can be an experienced guy. To me, it's just make sure Andrew Brunette's really supported here. If you want to bring someone in with experience to help out, that's if at some point they make a move, that maybe that's the route that I would go down, is just bring someone in that you want to maybe just help this guy in certain situations, or if you want to bring in another head coach and make Brunette kind of the associate coach, that's something that you could explore as well. But as I said, the team's record, if you said this was going to be a record, 18-6-4, whatever it is, after this stretch of games at the start of the year, you would have taken it in a heartbeat. And,
I think you were on the podcast the day that I called 25, 2 and 3, and then I lowered it to 18. So we got close to that number. What I wanted to add was, it's too bad you don't have tenure as a coach, some experience, because I can't think of anybody else that could come in and right the ship.
No, that's believe me, that coaching duty, that's tough business. Andrew Brunette's well respected, nice guy, and I see the stuff on Twitter and the stuff being said, and I have so much respect for this team and Bill Zito and what they've been able to accomplish at the start of the season. And last night you got humbled, and same thing. How they beat Ottawa 4-0. I mean, Ottawa beat Tampa Bay 4-0.
Right.
No, the Leafs got off to a terrible start. Everyone in Toronto was going to explode at the start of the year. Now all of a sudden everybody in Toronto is happy. It's just believe in what you have, because I believe they've got a good team, and good teams sort stuff out, and we'll see how it plays out. But it's still just too good of a lineup and too much depth to really go by the wayside and just fall off the cliff. There's too much talent that it's going to happen that way.
We really miss Barkov. We miss our leader. I can't blame. I mean, Knight is not at fault for, a lot of the goals that were scored last night. We were just defensively not there.
We weren't ready. We weren't ready to play. Your mindset, you came out, and after that road trip, you could see the first 10 minutes we couldn't handle the puck, and that carried over all night. But last night was one of those games that just wasn't there mentally. As a team, you weren't engaged. You weren't able to find the energy and the effort level needed to compete. So it's as I said, we'll see, but it's. We'll move on and we'll get ready for LA. You do miss Barkov. Everyone around the league, though, injuries, COVID. It's a tricky year. It's a tricky year with everyone trying to handle all these kind of situations. Not only do you got to balance injuries, but a lot of teams going through COVID issues. it's if you want to be a coach in the league, this is probably the toughest year to do it.
Billy, 0-6 on the power play. What do you think needs fixing?
Zone entries. The zone entries are awful at this moment. So they got to be able to find a way to get into the zone cleanly and get set up. Power play success is really maintained as part of your setup. And 0-6 last night against Ottawa, the Senators really just didn't allow the Panthers to get set up, and the zone entries weren't clean. And when they did get in the zone, there were some errant passes. You have to be crisp on the power play, and to have a successful power play. I kill penalties, and I know the penalty killers are the most intense guys on the ice that you're going to go against. You're going to battle hard. To have a successful power play, you have to be able to match that intensity on the power play side. Even though you have an extra man, you got the feeling and the sense that the Panthers let up last night and didn't match the intensity. If you want to you have to get that intensity ramped up and kind of have a penalty killer mindset on the power play, that you want to go in there and you just want to obliterate that penalty killing group. So their zone entries and the effort on the power play has to take an uptick.
They're so predictable. Now, Eric, remember the last video we did when I said that Ekblad back pass, we're going to get burned.
Right.
And it happened last night. Luckily, Knight made the save, but that back pass is just so predictable. Every team does it, and I'm surprised there's not more shorties with someone just swooping in and stealing that back pass.
Well, that's where. Sorry, there's a big truck pulling up here. That's where you miss Barkov, because that drop pass, even when Barkov gets the puck, people back off of Barkov because of his puck skills.
Right.
He's one of the best in the league at zone entries. So that to me, it's not so much the drop pass as having the ability with the player to actually skate it up with confidence and kind of come through there. So it is a play that everyone scouts, and they are starting to defend it differently. So you have to change your power play up. But we'll see if Barkov, I would like with Barkov out, maybe just to go to just more of a standard, what you would have with a 5-on-5 situation breakout, where everyone comes back and all three players go up the ice with the two defensemen and kind of attack that way. And if you don't have anything, just dump it in and send two guys on the puck and try and get some puck retrieval down low and then get set up. But you have to have a successful power play. You have to have that zone time, and it starts with those clean zone entries. So that is something that you watched last night. It was predictable and something that they're going to have to fix.
Yeah, it's been like that the last few games. And I don't think they're taking enough shots. And I think the other teams have been very aggressive. And that's something we do on the PK. And that's why moving the puck around quickly is so, key. And I just, yep. I don't like the setup. At least they moved Ekblad to the left side for his one-timer, but they're not shooting.
Yeah, they got to get it set up. Well, they're not shooting. They're not getting enough time, but that's an area that's fixable. You got enough talent, and it's fixable. I'm okay with the adversity with this team too. Struggling at some points throughout the course of the year, but I really can't name one team throughout the league that hasn't had adversity. If you go through it, some of the best teams: Colorado, slow start, adversity; Toronto, slow start. Same thing with Tampa Bay. They're starting to figure teams. So this is kind of our moment where we've had a little stretch of bad play, but a good team. And all of a sudden, if you go 5-2 in the next 7 games or something like that, then you're right back on track and pushing for that division title again.
And
go ahead, Eric. It's all yours.
It doesn't matter.
Like you said, if we would have thought we're going to have this record the beginning of the season, and that was with Q, we would have taken it.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you about because you mentioned about Barkov, we both did. What do you think, and when do you think they start talking about, hey, Alexander, you've been hurt all year, maybe you should not go to the Olympics? Do you think that discussion is happening?
No, that discussion is happening, I believe, with every player in the NHL at this moment. That discussion, because of all of a sudden the 3 to 5 week quarantine that could be a possibility if you catch COVID over in Beijing and China.
I see.
The scenarios that are starting to play out all around the NHL with games getting canceled, more games, Carolina missing games last night. If you keep going down this road and you keep missing games, then you're going to need a chunk of time to fill in those dates. So all of a sudden the question around the league, there's a lot of, it's up. Gary Bettman said it's up to the players, but if a player's healthy and they want to go to the Olympics and that's still on the table, then the team's not going to hold them back. They won't have any discussion. It's, if you want to play for your country and it's an availability, it's something that is every player's rights. And as a team, you should not have a discussion to take that away from them. But the players have a lot to digest on their very own merit, whether they want to go over there, risk the chance of not only injury, but having COVID and having to stay in Beijing for 3 to 5 weeks. There's a lot in play to make these Olympics happen, more so than ever with the cancellation of games. So we'll see what happens between, I think January 10th is one of those cutoff dates where they have to start to make some decisions. So with the next couple of weeks, we'll know a lot more about the Olympics and what's happening with the players and the league in general. Yeah,
because there's somebody mentioned on the stream the other night, I mean, there's the other end of that where the venues have, they've booked, concerts and events during the Olympic break and everything. So, I mean, either way, there's going to be a giant mess one way or another if it doesn't happen.
It's the world we're living in. This new strain of COVID, and it's just seems to be never ending, and it's frustrating. The league, the players, the last 3 years have been some of the hardest in all of pro sports. I guess everyone in life in general. The last 3 years for everyone has tested everyone mentally. I know I have been, and it's been a tough time that everyone's trying to sort through the waters.
Yep. At least we got games.
That being said, health and safety is the main thing.
Right.
Health and safety is two things that are number one, and you cannot ever take that away. Players' mental health, players' physical health, and the safety of everyone, that has to be at the top of the list and the top of every decision.
Go ahead, Stu.
No, it's just, I totally agree with you. My personal opinion is we can't lose a key player to injury in the Olympics. That's always been my greatest fear. I don't want to take anything away from a player wanting to. I won't mention names. We know who's going, and it would just be devastating to lose a player.
Everyone's got that on the list.
Yep.
In the Capitals, Crosby, the Penguins, McDavid, the Oilers, Draisaitl, the Oilers, Austin Matthews, Toronto, Mitch. I mean, you can go down the list.
Right.
The players all the players in the Olympics are the superstars in the NHL.
Right.
So if they go, so every team has that concern.
My last question, and one of my favorite players since he started in the league, is the Great Eight. So he's moving up. He's moving up, the chart there. Do you think? Well, I know my opinion. I think he's going to catch Gretzky. The guy doesn't look like his age. I think he's got at least 4 or 5 years left if he stays healthy. I think he's going to get 50 goals. What has he got? 25 already?
Yeah, he's 22 maybe.
So what's your take on? Do you think he can catch Gretzky?
Yeah, if he stays at this pace and stays healthy, he's got a legitimate chance to catch Gretzky. We'll see if there's a drop off. The one question mark I will have, not only on his personal ability, but the Capitals are an older team, and they got maybe this year and next year, who I would perceive as their Stanley Cup window, and then they're going to have to start to retool that team with some younger guys and start to filter it in. And there's a possibility in 2 years the Capitals might be on a downward turn, where they might not quite be as good as they are this year and next year. If that happens, then it maybe becomes a little bit harder for Ovechkin, but he's still the best goal scorer of all time when it's all done because of this era. He's missed parts of seasons with COVID. He's missed parts of seasons with lockout. If you give him those extra 100 games that he's already probably missed because of cancellations of games, then the record is really in jeopardy. So to me, he's already cemented his legacy as the greatest goal scorer of all time. Now the question mark is, can he catch Gretzky? It's a real possibility. and he keeps himself in great shape. And when there is games, he seems available to play.
Yeah,
Eric, you got anything else?
Yeah, I was just going to say,
Panther?
At the last thing I'll say here is that when Washington does start to retool, $50 says Stu starts asking for Ovechkin to come play the rest of his career playing the Yager role with Barkov and Huberdeau. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. Ovechkin's going to be a Cap for life.
Yeah. All right. Well, you never know. We'll just put it that way. You never know. Remember, Tim Thomas had a cup of coffee with us. Everybody gets a cup of coffee with the Panthers at the end, man. Joel Thornton, again. I'm just saying, don't be surprised, man. All right, Billy. So listen, really appreciate. Billy, go ahead, Stu. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna, thank Billy for coming on. If you guys got the NHL Network, Billy is, Billy knows hockey. You guys got to watch his breakdown. Absolutely. Because, even though he's, Panther for life, he still knows the game. He knows the players, and Billy, I just love watching you. I'm always texting you when you're doing your thing. So.
I'm jealous with the workout and the sunshine and everything. I'm here in Maryland. We don't have any of that going on right now.
Yeah, go take a shower and relax the rest of the day. Go take a swim.
Oh, we lost his audio. Oh man, and he's saying some beautiful things. Well,
we lost your audio, Billy. You're muted. Your mic's muted.
We're gonna get John Boy to lip read for whatever Billy said.
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
There you go.
You got me. Hello.
Yeah, we're good. We figured you were saying something very philosophical. I was gonna get John Boy to do lip reading for you.
I don't know. Last thing, just everyone, you gotta just relax. It's 82 games. That's the main thing. Spencer Knight's still going to be a star goaltender no matter what happens. He's got all the tools. He'll figure it out. Maybe we get a coach. Maybe we don't. We still got a great hockey team. So everyone just take a step back and take a deep breath. Everything at this moment, it's a little chaotic in Pantherland, but we still got, it's a marathon here. We're not in a sprint. So we're still doing okay at about the quarter pole here in this marathon.
Yep. All right.
Thanks again. Thanks again,
Billy.
Thanks
so much, bud.
Much appreciated.
Right. Yep. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. Starting to rain. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye.
Yep.
All right. Bye-bye.
So there you have it, guys.
There we go.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
See you.
All right, Bill.
Okay. There we go.
Listen.
Hey,
you guys got to
subscribe. Look,
you got to subscribe
you're running the
to
show
this.
now. You're on the other side. I'm sorry, but look. Now it's this Stu show. They got me over here.
You told me you weren't feeling well. I told you I'd,
Well, this was completely full of coffee at the start, so I did that on purpose. I had a half hour's worth of energy. I drank it, and now I'm gonna die as soon as that caffeine wears off. Man, I'm gonna fall on the floor wherever I am.
Well, all I got to say is if you're a Panther fan, you got to subscribe to this channel, like the video, make comments. Nowhere else you're going to get special guests like the ones we are pulling in.
Nope.
And
that's for
hopefully
sure.
we'll get Randy on here real soon. But
yeah,
like Billy said, it's a lot. Listen, thank God we came out, real strong, and we got 40 points. It's not like we're, in fourth place and, got 10 points to make up. They just got to right the ship and soon.
I mean, you need to be a little bit, just a little bit more consistent. We're still not playing at a playoff pace since Q got fired, and that's the thing, because when you don't play at a playoff pace for 20 games, that's one thing, but it starts to hit 40 and 50, and it's a tight division. You know what I mean? It's a real tight division.
Probably the tightest in the league. It sucks that we, we were a victim of circumstances. Losing Q was really big.
No doubt.
But
no doubt.
Anyway,
all right,
I'm done. I'll hope to see you after. I'm going to Atlanta to visit my daughter. So we'll see about Friday. I should be able to come on. So
okay.
Hopefully they rebound. I wish I was going to the game. I love the Kings.
Yeah, I got a couple tickets. In fact, for you guys that are still watching, I'm going to make a community post later on to the channel. I've got a couple tickets to give away to the Kings game, courtesy of the Anthony, good supporter of the channel. He's on the Discord and he's on the Patreon and everything. So got a couple tickets to the Kings. I don't know, 2-3 million. First million in my bank account gets them. I'm good. I'm good, man. Or a dollar, either one, whichever one you got.
So listen, if you guys watch this video, we really welcome. You know, no opinion is going to be shot down.
Yeah, but we gotta get Stu in the comment section of YouTube. We got because everybody, they're answering your questions, but Stu, you're not there. You're not there.
All right, my bad. I got to get on there and start.
I'm there, and I'm taking all the heat for you, man. I got to answer all the questions.
All right. Oh, last thing. Right before I came on, there was a tweet about Arizona kind of putting out the fishing line for chikrin.
Is that right?
Now, you remember
they watch our
videos,
man.
Yeah, in the last video, I talked about that. And, you know, my answer on the tweet was, you know, if we can put the right package together, you know, we should go for it. And I wrote, you know, not only a great player, but it's a great story coming back home to play for, you know,
a
team that he used to go to the arena and watch. I mean, as a kid from Boca Raton.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, you got it.
That's it, my friend.
There's definitely a couple of people that commented on your trade and made counter offers and everything. So
all right. So I'll go back and take a look, and I'll definitely answer comments on this one.
All right, guys.
Have a good day, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Later.